in my swish pants, and I'd have my little windbreaker jacket on, and I used to pretend that I was Eddie George running between houses with the football of Avon books, hanging them on the doors as fast as I possibly could. We're talking 1999, 2000.
Hell yeah.
Peak Eddie George Titans days.
45, 40, 35, 30, he's gonna go!
It's time people feel us!
Big Red Junkies.
Day by day, he gets better and better! If we die, we die!
Man, woman, and child in that. Put him in the aisle.
Bring that trophy back to Lincoln!
Welcome into a rather somber episode of the Big Red Junkies. I am BJ. This is Jed. This is Matt. We're recapping Michigan.
Fuck Michigan.
It doesn't need to be all that somber either. It was a
I'm
good
with you.
fucking game.
I'm with you. If you happen to be out on the Twitterverse, or if you're listening to several even local radio guys around, you'd think the sky is falling.
Well, yeah,
It's pretty fucking crazy.
of course.
What do you mean it's crazy? It's Nebraska Husker football fans.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of obnoxious this week.
Also, speaking of those types of things, specifically the Twitterverse and things like that, you would think that Michigan is the greatest team of all time now because they beat up on Nebraska.
Well,
So, cool.
I don't even really give a shit about what Michigan fans are saying. I think it's obnoxious the way that Nebraska fans are trying to pick apart and destroy tons and tons of positive things that are moving us
So many positive things. Like the fact that we went down and didn't score on the first two great drives and then didn't get so demoralized that we lost by 40 points.
Yeah, we came back. We came back from being 10 down twice.
Yeah,
in the game.
we didn't score those first two drives, and we went down 10-0 early. Like, I kind of agree with Michael Severe yesterday, and tonight was going on and on about how he doesn't want to hear anymore about the close games, close loss stuff, and I completely agree with him because it's whether you lose by 3 or lose by 30, it's still a loss, and it counts the same, and it hurts, and all that stuff. But it's still this was still different than
The
all
eye
of that.
test is completely different.
Yes.
Yeah, the loss fucking sucks.
Now,
But I looked at a good football team out there, minus the offensive line.
and the defensive line. But
See, in my opinion, the defensive line played better than anyone expected them to.
I don't know about
They
that.
did. They held up. Our top-rated PFF graded player on the team was freaking Elijah Judy.
I
The
don't
defensive line held up on minus, with the exception of 3 plays on rush defense.
against a banged up offensive line with Michigan, they should have been better.
There's no excuses. They played better than what I expected them to, is what I'm saying. They simply weren't the reason we lost this game. Our offensive
agree.
line had way more to do with why we lost this game. Our lack of running back room at all had way more to do with why we lost this game. There were a lot of things there was a lot of things you can point to in this. We couldn't do a lot of things that we expected to be able to do. The offensive line deciding that they were going to rock back and just let themselves get attacked the entire game was extremely strange.
Yeah, the offensive line was a problem in this game. Hands down, 100%. I don't know if you can look at our running back room that had 0 opportunities to run effectively behind an offensive line that got any sort of push.
They had
and
push.
blame
They
them.
had holes. They had holes. They weren't hitting them.
I don't
They
think so.
Emmett Johnson looked extremely ineffective against a much faster and bigger physical defense. He's not a number 1 running back. I've been saying this since the offseason. I was scared of, this was a bigger fear for me than even the defensive line. And I thought that our running back holes showed as much, if not more, than the defensive line did. That's just my personal takeaway on the game. Watched it twice now. I'll go back to it again. I know that we don't all agree on this, but Elijah Pritchett is the left tackle that should be playing.
Oh my God, no!
I will take 5 yard. I'll take 5-yard penalties over 9 or 10-yard sacks any day.
I don't ever want him to see the field again.
Gunnar Gatula was getting straight bull rushed without even any speed to power on him and just getting manhandled. The guy couldn't hold up at all. At least when Pritchett was in there, for the most part, he was holding his ground. Yes, he gave up the pressure.
For 6 whole plays?
Yes, for 6 whole plays. He's also had no opportunity game-wise to play.
Because he doesn't deserve it.
He is the more athletic, stronger, bigger, faster guy.
Not even close.
Jed, tell us why.
Just watch the games.
I'm watching the games.
It's not
That's
close.
obvious.
Outside of penalties, I didn't see what was wrong.
Well, I mean, this game is a hard one to say because it's literally 6 plays. So, like,
Did you see
get
6
that, but-
positive snaps by Gatula? I
Yeah.
didn't.
yes.
His
I did not.
49.7 player grade would tell me otherwise.
Well, and Pritchett's 43.5 and 32.1 pass blocking grade tells me otherwise too. So
I totally get that.
on 6 snaps. So
I'm not even going off the scores. I'm talking simply about the eye test. Gatula looked outmatched the entire time he was out there. Like
all of our tackles did, though.
he-
I'm not just
I
putting this
agree
out.
with that.
Some
I
of
agree with
that is- some of that
Proska-
is-
Proska
Yeah.
played very poorly as well.
Yes.
Also, some of that is credit to the Michigan defensive line, who
Absolutely.
is very good.
Absolutely. You have to give it to him, especially whatever that guy's name was, number 1.
Barham.
If he's not a top 10 pick in the draft when he comes out, that'll be absolutely crazy. Very much reminded me of a Micah Parsons type. But as far as the tackle play goes, I just think there's a lot to go there. If you listen to Rhule's press conference today, I think he thinks there's a lot to look at there as well. Whatever's going on that's keeping Elijah Pritchett from earning opportunity in games needs to get fixed, or they just need to say, hey, you're not playing anymore. Like, cut it one way or the other.
I don't think that's how backups work. I think they could leave him as a backup.
All the conversation about how much he's making, I think, is absolutely crazy. It doesn't matter how much a player is making.
Couldn't care less how much.
Also,
he's making.
which one of us understands how much he's making? There's a lot of estimates out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of estimates
Nobody
out there.
knows what the fuck he's making.
I think it's safe to say he's making a lot more than Gunnar Gatula is, but it doesn't really matter. You put the best player out there. At the same time, we've had coaches in the past that refuse to play players for certain reasons, one way or the other. Sometimes it's for the betterment of the team. Sometimes I think it's for the detriment of the team. We saw that a lot under Frost, that he would refuse to play people, or last year under Satterfield refusing to play Emmett Johnson because for some reason he just didn't like the guy. He was still the best back to play. That doesn't mean we have a stable of backs back there, but we've seen this before, and I hope that this isn't just a stubbornness factor that's keeping the best offensive lineman that we have from playing.
According to Jed, it's not.
I know.
Well, but most
Opinions are opinions.
yeah, one of my biggest things, I don't really care to pinpoint one person or another because the entire offensive line played like shit.
Yeah.
Like
The interior guys weren't as bad as they looked.
Correct.
They got better in the
Correct.
second half,
Correct.
especially.
correct, but I'm more looking at them as a unit than anything else.
I agree.
So
They got better as Michigan got tired of sacking us.
Jesus.
I mean, to just single out Gatula or say Pritchett needs to play more. I mean, Corcoran could play more too. I mean,
I agree.
There's a lot of guys that need to play better, flat out. Period. And on the lines of scrimmage in the game, we got our ass whipped. Period. I mean, you can't deny that
No.
on either side of the situation, and that part sucks. But I'm also going to be like Rhule said today, where I'm not going to understate what happened in the game, but I'm also not going to overstate it either. Like I'm not going to go too crazy on making these big sweeping generalizations of everything because it's one fucking game.
No, I've had this stance since the Cincinnati game on Gatula. I don't know what's going on. He doesn't look comfortable at left tackle. He doesn't look right at left tackle to me. He doesn't look improved over last year. And last year, he was a guy who was coming in at the last moment as an injury backup. That's what he still looks like to me. And we don't have a starting caliber left tackle that's playing left tackle right now. Whether or not that's going to change, I don't know. It's going to get easier. This is the second best unit we're going to face all year as far as an offensive or defensive front on both sides of the ball. Penn State's going to hurt worse than this.
Michigan might be the best defensive line we play this year, but it's either one or two. Yes.
Yeah. We're going to seem better against Michigan State. We're going to seem better against Maryland.
We're going to seem a lot better against Michigan State.
Michigan State's bad.
No, the sky is not falling. This is still a good football team that will go out there in 2 weeks.
Not, I do think that you have a serious tackle question you need to tackle. You need to figure out if Gunnar Gatula would be better suited trying to play right and see if he would be better than Prohaska there. I don't know. I think Prohaska's played the best of the tackles on either side to this point until this game. And then this game, he looked slow and outmatched.
Again, some of that was just Michigan. I'll tell you one player you can't single out and say they had a bad game. Dylan Raiola. Do you like chicken? Do you like the world's best chicken? I happen to love chicken, and I'm here to tell you, Trax Lounge in Omaha has the world's best chicken, and that's a scientific fact. Actually, ever since 1965, Trax has been proudly serving the world's best chicken right here in Omaha at their original location just north of Center on 1506 South 60th Street. But honestly, their chicken is so good, they've officially flown the coop and opened a second brand new location out in West Omaha on 18111 Hugh Street. If you like your taste buds, you want to treat them right, get over to Trax today and get some of the world's best chicken. If you really like your taste buds, get the hot buffalo mixed with garlic parm.
Yeah. If you were reading anything that anybody else is saying out there,
Yeah.
If you're
There's a lot of
cover
fucking
three
morons out there is my point.
We've all liked a lot of the stuff the Cover 3 podcast has done, but Tom Fornelli is an absolute moron. I hope somehow this gets back to him. He put out this big clickbait. I'm
all it was.
I'm over Dylan Raiola. I'm over this. I'm over
He's just trying to get paid.
He's
That's all it is.
terrible. You should have seen him. Bryce Underwood actually played above expectation, and Dylan Raiola actually sucked. I don't even know how he got his yards. You're an idiot.
Go watch the game.
Can I have a few minutes to rant about that a
Yeah,
little bit?
please do.
Okay. So you guys know me very well. At any point
Just met you last week.
of the years that you've known me, would you call me a homer?
Not one time.
Okay. First and
In
foremost,
fact, let's back it up. For those of you who weren't here at the beginning, thank you for joining. And if you haven't yet, subscribe and like the show.
Big
Or
old
dislike
plug.
it because this has
Big
been a
old
shitty
plug there.
conversation so far. But
and if
we
you're a
used
Michigan
to,
troll, go fuck off. We don't care.
No, hang out.
I used to reference Jed as a Frost hater because he hated Scott Frost the whole time he was here. He never wanted him as a coach. Never thought it was going to work. And Jed was right.
I didn't want to be. But
Go back to it. I'm just proving you've always been a non-homer, in my opinion.
First and foremost, I am a college football fan. It is number one, obviously, behind my kids and my grandkids. The football is number one. I just happen to be a Nebraska fan. So I'm not saying this in a biased way. I actually hate it when people are like, oh, the media hates Nebraska. No, they don't really actually care. But anyway, what Tom Fornelli and Bud Elliott on the Cover 3 podcast also said a couple of things, and there's been some other national people going on and on about, oh my God. And of course, Rhule talked about this today in the press conference because he was asked about the Patrick Mahomes comparison stuff. And can we just talk about the actual football that's actually happening? If you're annoyed by the Patrick Mahomes stuff, that's on you. Not on Dylan Raiola, not on us, or anything else like that. Just talk about what he's doing. This guy is third in completion percentage in the country. He's tied for third with the most completions. He's got the best completion percentage of anybody that has over 100 completions on the season. He's tied for fourth with the most touchdowns passes on the season. He's only got one interception, and it was a tip ball. Like,
it was a bad ball, by the way.
So,
I get the tip ball, but don't throw it in double coverage like that.
So
one interception through 4 games.
Yes.
Specifically, this Tom Fornelli, he's a big Illinois guy, and he always loves to hype up Luke Altmaier, the Illinois quarterback. I'm sorry. What did Illinois do this weekend?
I think they're still getting scored on right now.
Their laundry bill has got to be high from all the cake in their pants from last week.
Dylan Raiola got sacked 7 times, and he was, 73% passer,
30 for 41,
yards.
3 touchdowns.
Yeah, okay. Luke Altmaier against Indiana got sacked 7 times. He was 14 of 22 for 146 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Like, Tom Fornelli, why don't you do this big old circus that you do and say how you're done with Luke Altmaier and he's freaking terrible and everything else? Illinois has allowed 16 sacks and 30 tackles for loss. They fucking suck. They haven't played anybody just like we haven't played anybody either. But
they're a top 10 team.
Yeah, they used to be. So, get the fuck off of Illinois' jock if you're going to jump so far off of Nebraska. And of course, again, we went over Dylan Raiola's numbers. You got other quarterbacks in the country that Dylan always likes to get compared to. DJ Lagway, he's fucking trash, and he's in a walking boot right now. And then everybody, speaking of Indiana, is just absolutely stroking the cock of Fernando Mendoza, who's playing great, but who the fuck has Indiana played? Everybody wants to say that
Illinois.
A top 10 Illinois team.
Bingo.
They play a top 10 team.
Everybody wants to say Dylan Raiola's numbers are only padded because they haven't played anybody. Fuck off. The schedule is very comparable.
End up being a top 25, probably a top 15 defense in the country.
But the schedule is comparable to everybody else. Just about everybody's played an FCS team. Just about everybody's played a shitty MAC team. And then they've played 2 Power 4 teams. That's what everybody's schedule basically has been so far this season. So don't give me this, we haven't played anybody and Dylan Raiola padded his stats against a bunch of nobodies. Get fucked. Like, this is so fucking stupid that it just has to be about Patrick Mahomes this and Patrick Mahomes that. Oh, I don't know. Is Luke Altmaier getting compared to one of the best quarterbacks that's ever played in the NFL? Oh, and then they say, well, the biggest problem is that Dylan hasn't won anything yet. Okay, well, he started 16, 17 games in his entire fucking career. So get the hell off of all this bullshit. He hasn't had the opportunity yet. He's on a program that's still building and growing.
Yeah. In the amount of time that he's been playing football in college, 2 teams have won anything.
Yeah.
That's it.
It is just so dumb. I agree with Rhule where he said it's lazy to just sit there and talk about the Patrick Mahomes bullshit. It's just like, just fucking stop. Cool, you're done with Raiola. Go. Then be done with him.
I don't even care. Like, to me, that was nothing but clickbait.
It was
That's
so
nothing but
stupid.
trying to attract hate and vitriol from Nebraska fans so that they get all in the comments and they jack up their algorithm and all this shit.
Then Bud Elliott jumps in and says, well, he had most of his yards on those 2 plays, the touchdowns in the second quarter. Oh, you mean the plays that count?
Yeah.
You mean just because you want to cherry pick some stuff? And also Michigan fans are all over the place saying, you guys we gifted you 2 touchdowns.
We ran all over you.
Well, no, they say we gifted you 2 touchdowns with the taunting penalty and then the Hail Mary was a prayer. Okay, well, if you can cherry pick 2 plays out, can I cherry pick 2 long touchdown runs? And then tell me what the fucking score is.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself. Eat a bag,
Give
man.
me back one of those 7 sacks that was actually a face mask.
Yeah.
Also,
give me back a non-call on a pass interference call that would have put us on the 4-yard line, and it said we had to punt the ball away.
or the 15 different holding calls on those long runs that never got called.
Yeah.
You could cherry pick any number of things you want, and it's not like that taunting the sideline thing gave us a touchdown.
Yeah.
He was
we then
doing it the
drove
whole
65
fucking game.
yards.
Yeah. You could have stopped us after that.
We drove 65 yards after that play happened.
And do not confuse any of that, what we just said there, as excuses or we should have won or anything
We
like
lost the
that.
game.
Again, we got our ass whipped on the line of scrimmage the entire fucking game. But to come out and be like, Michigan's this great program and great team, and then Dylan Raiola sucks, it's like, the kid is playing so fucking well this year, it's absolutely ridiculous. And just to pick a stupid comparison that you fuckers created just to hate on him is so fucking stupid.
Here's what I think about
He did get his haircut that way, but it doesn't really
Here's
matter.
my thing about that, right? So there's literally a 30 for 30 about how Kobe mimicked his entire game after Michael Jordan. They did all these overlays of MJ and Kobe backing a guy down and doing a step back, fade away. There's all these different ways that Kobe would go up for a dunk they'd mirror over an image of MJ. Like, the great players usually have someone great that they looked up to, and they mimic their game after that. Every single quarterback playing in high school and playing in college right now has 1, 2, 3, 4 quarterbacks in the NFL that if you walked up to them and said, hey, who do you try and mirror your game after? A lot of them are probably going to say Patrick Mahomes. They might not have the look to go with it. They might not have all the fanfare and play 2.5 hours away from him and get that personal connection that he got. That doesn't make what he's doing wrong. That's also, in my opinion, like, you look at it and you go, okay, well, you made a comment about during the game, you're like, I don't know about all the sidearm stuff. The sidearm stuff didn't even come from him. Matthew Stafford was in the league 8 or 9 years before Patrick Mahomes.
I wasn't saying it because of a
It's
Patrick Mahomes. I
It's
just
a
didn't
baseball
like it.
move.
I just didn't like it.
I get that. But he got that from Matthew Stafford, who also happens to be his godfather.
Yeah.
He got that from playing baseball.
Yeah.
He has the ability to do that from playing baseball.
Matt Stafford's been doing that in the league for 18 years.
Fine. So has every other quarterback. So it's like,
I'm saying, changing your arm slot and doing things like that is modern quarterbacking at its finest.
Yeah.
He's doing things at an extremely high level that a lot of quarterbacks around the league aren't able to do. They aren't able to check into certain plays. They aren't able to, in their own brains, go, you know what? I see this in coverage. I know that this RPO where it's 3rd and 12, I'm going to have to just hand this off because I'm more likely to turn the ball over or have a real problem or get my receiver fucking killed. There's game management things that, the game manager connotation, like that has a negative connotation to it, that phrase. But the way he is managing games right now and then also performing alongside of it, like you said, he's completing over 75% of his passes on the season. He's ranking in the top 5, 6, 7 in almost every passing category that you can possibly have. Oh, and by the way, he didn't play in three and a half quarters of the 4 games we played in.
yeah.
He just went for over 300 yards let me talk about this. The second time in his career, he went for over 300 yards, and it was against what will wind up being a top 15 probably unit in the country.
Yeah.
That is the reason the score was 30-27 is because Dylan Raiola was on the field.
Yeah.
There was nothing. Dylan Raiola and Ja'Cory Barney basically put Nebraska on their backs and said, "Hey boys, we got you. Let's go do this."
He did all of that in spite being sacked 7 times and in spite being rushed. I don't have the stat. So many times that it doesn't fucking matter.
He was under
Every
pressure
single
half
play,
his dropbacks.
half of them.
The other thing no one's talking about, in the middle, I want to say the early part of the second quarter, late part of the first quarter, he got stepped on full cleat across his ankle and sprained his ankle. His ankle was swelled up like a motherfucker after halftime.
He didn't care. He went out and just balled out.
He went and continued to play out like that.
Mhm.
People talk about how he looked slow and he couldn't get away. He was a little hobbled for the remainder of that game.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not going to be talked about at all because they've got a bye week and he'll be healed up in 2 weeks. But that's another part of that in the second half where when people are looking at, look at him. He's trying to be Patrick Mahomes, but he's too slow. He's not athletic enough. Well, he was also fucking hurt. No one talked about that.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm not
Let my fat ass come step on your foot and see how fast you run.
other than this sentence, I'm not even going to give it any more time of those dumb fucks on anywhere that was bringing up TJ Lateef after that game. But that's a whole nother conversation. I just want to go back really quickly to something you said as far as the whole comparison bullshit stuff. You said every great player emulates another great player that they're watching on TV. Even the not great players like myself, when I was a kid playing, driveway basketball, I wanted to be Larry Bird. I wanted to shoot, all over the place and, shoot behind the backboard and all these weird passes and all that stuff. And that ain't happening. So
Dude,
it's
I
what
remember,
everybody does.
You want to hear a funny story?
Jesus.
My mom was an Avon lady. Yeah, she did the Avon stuff. And so when I was in 5th grade, 5th grade, something like that, 5th, 6th grade, somewhere in there.
This is a weird tangent
We used-
coming for this show.
Our
I
other brother Danny and I used to have to go hang those little Avon books on the front doors of all the houses, go door to door. I used to pretend like I was in my swish pants and I'd have my little windbreaker jacket on, and I used to pretend that I was Eddie George running between houses with the football of Avon books, hanging them on the doors as fast as I possibly could. We're talking 1999, 2000.
Hell yeah.
Peak Eddie George Titans days.
Damn right.
And was I Eddie George? No. But I sure as fuck wanted to do everything possibly that I could to be like him.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with it.
No.
Yeah. So there you go, folks. If you want to hate on Raiola for looking like Mahomes, hate on BJ for looking like Eddie George.
Or wanting to be Eddie George.
It's embarrassing to admit to wanting to be an Ohio State running back, but anything else that we want to just get off our chest for that, because there's a lot of positives to go
There's
through
a
from
ton
this
of
game.
positives to go here.
I mean, the stuff to get off my chest, that whole thing it's been stewing with me all day today, and I had to get all that crap out. But
Can we 1 second? They threw 105 total passing yards.
Yeah.
Our defensive secondary is still doing a phenomenal job.
By the way, that was the $12 million Rolls Royce quarterback that was number one. As much as Dylan Raiola was the number one quarterback in the class last year, and everybody expected all these things of him, that was your big number one overall.
12 of 22, no passing touchdowns.
Yeah.
He had to use his legs.
Did he also get totally effed on a beautifully thrown ball in the back corner of the end zone that went off the receiver's hands that he just straight up dropped it?
His receivers
Yes.
were giving him no favors.
Yes. But a lot of that also had to do with our coverage. We have a very good back end. I do think it's interesting. You saw, especially if you look at the snap counts on a lot of those guys that played in the back end. What did you guys think about the fact that Buford messes up on that long touchdown run and then basically never sees the field again?
Rhule did say today he did not get benched for that. They just changed up their defensive front.
Yeah. That's giving coverage to one of your single digit guys.
We'll see in 2 weeks how much he plays.
Yeah.
And I'm
not calling him a liar, but
I'm not trying to say that Buford's not a good player.
correct.
But I do think, and I believe I said this in the preseason preview show, Hartzog and Buford at times last year were a liability. Yes, they played out of the position that they should have been
I
playing.
really wish Hartzog would have been able to play that the other day.
Yeah. I don't think that there's anything on the back end other than a couple of those runs. Because, like I said, you can't take those big runs away because that's how rushing stats are built. Right?
It's just like you can't take away the passing yards that he had in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Like,
you can't take those away. But at the same time, when you do strip those 3 runs off, we actually had a really good day on the ground defensively.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very different game.
We talked in our preview show. If they limit the big plays, we got this game in the bag.
Yeah.
If we had limited 3 big plays, this game looks awesome.
Yeah.
Even without the Hail Mary at the end of the first half.
I am curious what your guys' thoughts are on the Holgerson side of things, not making the adjustment, because it really did feel like they've got this tight end number that they can slap on Corcoran and bring him out there in these jumbo sets like that. Why do you think maybe they didn't go to more of that, especially in the second half, seeing how badly that left side of the line was getting abused, just to try and put an extra blocker out there?
Yeah, that was one thing that Michael harped on a lot during his severe recap show yesterday, where it was like, why are you not chipping more? Like, because Emmett Johnson couldn't do it.
First of all, Emmett Johnson is a terrible pass protector.
Yes.
Well, he's definitely not built for it.
I'm not trying to go on this like beat down of Emmett Johnson train, because I do think he has redeeming qualities and I think he's a great guy. He's just not a number 1 running back, and it was glaringly obvious in this game.
I do not believe 65 yards when our offensive line was getting fucked that hard.
Your only job as a running back is not just to get rushing yards.
You're right. But when he's the best rusher, that's why he's out there. You're not just going to sub somebody in who can block better. Let's show our plays a little more.
That's what we did all year last year. Ramir Johnson's primary job when he was in the game was to be a pass blocker.
And do you think it didn't tip the hand as to what we were going to do in the play? Defenses can see that.
I actually didn't think, outside the pass blocking, obviously, I didn't think Emmett Johnson played that bad the other day. I think the biggest thing about our offense, you're talking about the Dana Holgerson stuff, is there is no, specifically in the running back room, there is no other option.
Yeah.
Like, why wasn't Quentin Hines out there
The fact that Quentin Hines
for one
didn't see a
freaking
snap.
play?
Well, I think it's because they saw even what we could all see against Houston Christian. He looked slow in that game. Like, he had an opportunity in that game to get out there and show, and I'm sorry, but what he put out there looked slow against Houston Christian. He would have looked like he was standing still against Michigan.
But maybe having a bigger physical guy to maybe hit that defensive line a little bit more, get another couple of yards, maybe on the 4th and 2.
Physical though?
Yeah.
Like, he's obviously bigger.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's that physical of a runner though.
That's debatable, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just I think the lack of options that they have is glaring, and you just have to play Emmett Johnson. I mean, he's de facto the number 1.
Yeah.
But I don't know that he's a number 1 anywhere else.
Yeah.
In any other scenario.
Yeah, it's frustrating. It's frustrating when you start to look at the way we looked against them. I don't see, like, from a size perspective, especially when you look at the offensive line, we look like we should have the size to compete against Michigan. Why we didn't have whatever was going on, why we were getting so easily overpowered, it's kind of baffling to me. The other thing that you look at on the defensive line specifically, and when you look at the running back room, those are 2 glaringly obvious spots where over the last 2 years prior to this, the last 3 recruiting cycles, we have not recruited well. You can't blame John Butler for not recruiting defensive line prior to this year. But we got a late jump on getting a defensive line coach hired, and they did not do a good job recovering on that side of things. We needed to bring in 1 or 2 guys in this class, or at least a bigger time transfer on the D-line. In the running back room, Rhule said it today on the podium. I didn't have the money to go get the running back that we wanted.
Yeah.
That's not okay. Now, had there been some more due diligence done on who we were going to pay on our offensive line and have them not play and things like that, maybe that could have changed some things. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how that whole player personnel thing works out, especially next year with the roster limits coming in hard and having to do some more shuffling. But I saw big-time growth in this game, and that's what I'm happy about.
Absolutely. Do we have questions, Jed?
We do. Question number 1 was
Before we get started, did anybody do well this week?
Pretty average.
Okay.
Who will have more total yards, Underwood or Raiola? Underwood had 166. Raiola had 259 because he had to subtract a shit ton of rushing yards that he did not have. So everybody took Raiola, so we all got that one right. Who will have more all-purpose yards, Emmett Johnson or Justice Haynes? that you brought it up as far as we talked about this in the preview show where basically Haynes will get one.
Yeah.
And he did. And that was really kind of all he did.
Yeah.
And he had 161. Emmett had 97. Matt and myself took Justice Haynes, who will have a better third down conversion percentage. This one was going to be a nail biter because Nebraska converted 2 in the first half and didn't convert another one. And Michigan didn't convert a third down until almost the end of the third quarter.
Yeah.
But then they
converted like 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Their final drive, yeah.
So Michigan got that one at 33%. Everybody took Nebraska, so everybody got that one wrong. Who will have more receiving yards? Dane Keege, Corey Barney, and Isaiah Hunter. Obviously, that was Barney, and BJ was the only one to take Barney. Turnover margin for Nebraska, plus 0.5. It ended up at even. Matt and BJ took the under. Who will have more plays of 20-plus yards? Michigan had 3, all of them runs, and all of them touchdowns. Nebraska had 6, and they were all passes. Everybody took Nebraska on that one. Nebraska, this one's a bad one.
Still the only team in the country who has not allowed a 20-plus pass.
Yep. Sacks allowed by Nebraska, 2.5. Yeah,
Woof.
that kind of went over.
Yeah.
It went over in the first quarter.
Who took one on that one?
Matt took the over on that one.
Ugh.
Tackles for loss by Nebraska, 4.5. They had 5. BJ and Matt took the over. How many times will Michigan target Sierra Wright? 2.5. They ended up targeting him 8 times.
Yeah.
3 catches for 19 yards. Us 3 took the over. Fans took the under on that one. And who will have more tackles, Ernest Hausman or Deshaun Singleton? Hausman had 9. Singleton had 5. Matt and myself took Hausman.
I'm going to go ahead and...
I've heard my name on like almost all these questions. You're not giving me any credit here, Chad.
I'm going to go ahead and...
I forgot. You actually did. I had forgot what the record was when you asked. I was just like,
I forgot what I was going to say now.
Sorry.
It's all good.
Matt, you went 8-4. Because I'm also been adding in our over/under totals and our picks for the game. Matt, you went 8-4. BG and myself went 6-6. So those only get added for us. The fans, they don't get those. The fans went 2-8.
That's rough, fans. You gotta stop adding the games in. As I've proven in our Pick'em League, I can't pick games for shit. So
well, that's the only way we're gonna stay. But there was a lot of people on our YouTube page that made their picks. I'm not gonna go. There was like 12, 13, 14 people.
We appreciate the participation, guys. That was awesome.
Who did the best?
But there was 5 people that tied for 6 and 4. Peter, Bilt, Hunter, Emmett, Paul, Mark. Thor went 5 and 5, and then 6 people went 4 and 6. That's Scott, Jacob, Colton, Abby,
you guys
Vince.
got to do better.
And then Jared. I wish I could call out your last name too. You went 1 and 9.
Jared,
so
get it together,
come
my
on,
friend.
buddy.
Wow.
Come on, buddy. Got to do better than that.
So yeah, pretty much everybody kind of was hovering around that 500, except for Matt at 8 and 4 and Jared at 1 and 9.
Awesome. We appreciate the participation, guys.
Yeah.
We are headed into the bye week. You're going to get a special episode just kind of talking about some things we were right about and some things we were wrong about in the preseason and where we think we're headed for the rest of the season.
And fuck Michigan.
And this may be the most unbelievable night in Cornhusker football history.